Welcome to our Money in the Bank recap here at Trippy Commentaries. This is part 2, and we have gotten everything out of the way. The only thing left to cover is the huge main event that would name a new WWE Champion. So if you guys missed out on part 1, check that out first, because there was another ladder match. There was a huge tag team title match. A lot of stuff going on. Even Daniel Bryan made an appearance and had some really interesting things to say. But enough of that. We need to get right into the main event and figure out and talk about who our new champ is. I'm RJ, FPS Kyle's here.
What up?
Retro Brett's here.
Yo.
And Corey is on standby from Brooksville. He was going for Bray Wyatt in this match because he was surrounded by the Wyatt followers, who we all know are a little bit scary to be hanging around. He seems to have come out of this okay. Corey, man, this was an excellent match. Go ahead and start breaking it down for us.
Well, you know, in this match, of course, the participants we saw were Bray Wyatt versus Sheamus versus John Cena versus Kane versus Alberto Del Rio versus Cesaro versus the Viper Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. And, you know, as we talked about on our Raw recap and our Money in the Bank preview, this match had a ton of star power, I thought.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like we didn't really see quite as much action as far as seeing really crazy bumps in this match like we did in the previous match for the contract. But, you know, again, I feel like this match had a little bit more star power in it. We saw a lot of really cool stuff. At one point, we saw Randy Orton hit a RKO off of a ladder onto Cesaro. Cesaro was climbing up, and Orton basically grabbed his ankle and swept it back, and which caused Cesaro to fall. And then Orton nailed him with an RKO out of nowhere. I thought that was pretty cool.
That was awesome. Yeah, what about Bray Wyatt? Did you see when he got that crazy full Nelson slam on Reigns? That just shows you how powerful Bray Wyatt is.
Yeah, most definitely, man. You know, we saw a lot of major feats of strength tonight. Of course, in the end, I hate to spoil it. Spoiler alert, guys. Cena wins. I had a feeling this was going to happen. Cena has always been the go-to guy whenever it comes to the title. He can always be put right back in there, and he's going to get a reaction, whether it's a positive one or a negative one. Main things I took out of this, I felt like Roman Reigns. I felt like tonight, really, as far as everybody in the match, save for Bray Wyatt, I feel like Roman Reigns got the best reaction. Kyle, what do you think about the reaction that all the different guys got tonight?
Yeah, I feel you in the same. I agree with you there. And Roman Reigns was my pick to win this, and I felt he would have done it had the authority not had Kane in there protecting Randy Orton and trying to get Randy Orton to win the championship. But yeah, I think this, even because they kind of had to cheat, obviously, for both of these matches to get their guy to be the champion. Obviously, didn't work in the championship one because John Cena came in and had an epic comeback. But, I feel Roman Reigns is definitely is becoming one of the biggest names in wrestling right now.
Yeah, crazy match, guys. Randy Orton was bloody here. I mean, it was cool to see the bloody Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns match. At one point, we did see Roman Reigns go ham, so to speak. Hard as a motherfucker for anybody who doesn't know what that means. But he went through the whole everybody and pretty much either speared or Superman punched or did both to everybody. Looked like he had the shot. I think it was Kane that came out and kind of stopped him a couple of times there, as I remember Corey kind of predicted that Kane would be looking to shut down Roman Reigns even right off the bat. We were looking to see who was everybody going to right off the bat. Sure enough, ding, ding, ding. Randy Orton, Kane turned right around to Roman Reigns and pin him. Awesome match. Of course, we did see a really cool feat of strength where Roman Reigns lifted up the ladder with Sheamus and Cesaro both on top, and there was the first time that happened Cesaro and Sheamus were hanging from the championship belts, which is hilarious. The second time, of course, Roman Reigns lifted it up, knocking them both down. Personally, one thing I got to say, Corey, is I thought Sheamus was very impressive in this match. He seemed to have a lot of chances here, but in the end, it's this guy, John Cena, where in the blink of an eye, he can take over. In this instance, he hit Kane with the AA, the Attitude Adjustment. Then he hit Randy Orton with the Attitude Adjustment, piling him on Kane, thus letting him climb up the ladder and grabbing that elusive title.
Yes, well, I hate to beat a dead horse, but like everyone's saying, Roman Reigns is really ascending the ladder, so to speak. No pun intended. But he's been ascending the ladder since his Shield was still intact, but he's really going high. Obviously, I'm unhappy that Bray Wyatt, whom I predicted to win, didn't win. However, I'm ecstatic that John Cena, which is my favorite wrestler right now, got his 15th World Championship.
Yeah, and well deserved. I felt like he was quiet for a lot of the match.
Yes.
But he showed up when it counts, and that's one of Cena's MOs, is, he never gives up. We all know that's his slogan. He sure as hell didn't give up, because even John Cena took some really bad hits. Like I said, he had that full Nelson slam from Bray Wyatt there. But Cena wins now. Cena is the champ, and I think, honestly, we just need more time out of Roman Reigns. Once Roman Reigns gets a little bit more, once he gets more of these matches under his belt, he's taken over. What do you think, Corey?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. He's definitely getting the reactions that a guy who is put into that title picture should be getting, and a guy who could maybe hold that title one day. I thought Cesaro and Sheamus both. I thought they both really shined tonight in the match, too. Of course, as we said, Randy Orton got busted open there by a ladder that was falling at one point. And I don't believe that was a blade job. I think that was just kind of an accident that happened.
Definitely looked like he took it to the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things that happens, man. And I think as you guys said, it was kind of cool. It's something we don't see in wrestling much anymore, obviously for health concerns. But I feel like in big matches like this, as long as it's done carefully and done right, of course in this case I'm not sure if it was intentional, I think it adds a lot to the drama of the match.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we got all the results here. There's one more thing we have to get to in this recap and our reactions to the Money in the Bank event this year, 2014. John Cena is the title holder. Corey, we'll start with you. What do you think happens next when it comes to the title?
Well, I'm not exactly sure who John Cena is going to be challenging in the coming weeks, or who will be challenging Cena for the title. I do know that right now it's time to start setting up for the big Battleground pay-per-view in July in Tampa, of course, which you will be attending.
We got our tickets.
Sure.
And from there, it's time to build towards the big program of the summer, SummerSlam, of course, in August. I'm not certain if John Cena is going to hold the title up to SummerSlam. It could happen. It's going to be certainly interesting to see what sort of dynamic we have with Seth Rollins holding the Money in the Bank briefcase. Of course, that makes a really unexpected element at any point where he could cash in and become champion.
Yeah, I expect John Cena to hold the title up until this next Battleground event. I don't think it'll be Seth Rollins who will challenge him. It'll be interesting to see when he tactically uses that contract. Who do you think will try to challenge John Cena, Retro?
Well, that's pretty up in there. I really don't know, but I will say I don't think it will be Seth Rollins, because Seth Rollins is not in John Cena's league.
Not yet.
Sorry, Seth, but gotta tell it like it is.
Cena's the man. No getting around it.
Yeah, I'm going to take a play out of Corey's playbook here. I think now that Cena is the champion, this sets up the Brock Lesnar return. And this is where maybe that's for SummerSlam. They set that up for that, where Brock Lesnar goes up against John Cena. But I know that, Corey, I know you were looking for Brock Lesnar to make an appearance in this match here tonight. Anything you want to say about that? Like, kind of disappointed about that, or you feel they just haven't got to the point where it would make sense for Lesnar to come in yet?
Well, I think that's one of those things with him having beat The Undertaker, where, of course, he could come in at any time and just completely wreck house and take over the whole ship.
Yeah.
And it's going to make sense. I was a little bit disappointed, but, I think you're right. It's just a matter of time before Lesnar comes back, and the company really capitalizes on him being the one in 2021, the man who conquered The Undertaker's streak, and perhaps the most powerful man in the WWE at this point.
There's one more thing I want to mention as we sign out here for this recap. It was a really crazy moment today where we saw John Cena and Roman Reigns look each other dead in the eyes as they were about to battle to see if one of them could come out with that title. And I think we all know that one of these days, maybe this year, hopefully sometime soon, we will see a title match between John Cena and Roman Reigns. And that will be an epic matchup.
I thought that was a classy moment because it seemed like, we've seen it in other wrestling matches before, where the guy's kind of, all right, I'm going to pass this on to you, go ahead and take it. Because he kind of looks at him for a second, and then it seems like, oh, fuck no. Hell no.
I was going to say, no.
I'm going to win this, bitch.
They both
it ain't
won
your
that.
turn, motherfucker. It ain't your turn yet.
I ain't giving you nothing.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for joining us for this recap. Make sure to stay tuned because we'll have our Raw reactions tomorrow. Raw is always interesting after a PPV. You have some crazy things going on, a lot of announcements, a lot of signs of what to expect and what's to come. But this is another awesome pay-per-view from WWE. The next one will be held here in our hometown of Tampa. We'll see it up close, and hopefully it can have another epic main event like the one we saw tonight. I'm RJ for Retro Brett.
Yo, have a good night.
FPS Kyle.
Take it easy.
Corey, another one in the books.
Yeah, man, this was a great pay-per-view tonight, Money in the Bank. Definitely to all of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for joining us for this recap of the big, illustrious event. We'll stay tuned to see what happens with the Money in the Bank and the title. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe, tell your friends, stay tuned. We're going to be covering, as RJ said, Monday Night Raw and plenty more from the world of wrestling. As always, stay tuned and stay trippy.
Welcome to our Money in the Bank recap here at Trippy Commentaries. This is part 2, and we have gotten everything out of the way. The only thing left to cover is the huge main event that would name a new WWE champion. So if you guys missed out on part 1, check that out first because there was another ladder match. There was a huge tag team title match. A lot of stuff going on. Even Daniel Bryan made an appearance and had some really interesting things to say. But enough of that. We need to get right into the main event and figure out and talk about who our new champ is. I'm RJ, FPS Kyle's here.
What up?
Retro Brett's here.
Yo.
And Corey is on standby from Brooksville. He was going for Bray Wyatt in this match because he was surrounded by the Wyatt followers, who we all know are a little bit scary to be hanging around. Mm-hmm. He seems to have come out of this okay. Corey, man, this was an excellent match. Go ahead and start breaking it down for us.
Well, in this match, of course, the participants we saw were Bray Wyatt versus Sheamus versus John Cena versus Kane versus Alberto Del Rio versus Cesaro versus the Viper Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns.